Tonight's top story, are we, the people of North Dakota, being led down a very, and I will say this again, very dangerous path by one of our leaders? Good evening and welcome to 6:30 Point of View. I'm Chris Berg. Thanks so much for joining us. Last night, maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't, President of Iran was on 60 Minutes. If you have not watched the interview with Steve Kroft, I would strongly encourage you to do so. And I bring this up because I've asked Senator Heidi Heitkamp to come on this show and share with you and I why she chose to support an Iranian deal that essentially opens the economic doors for the leading state sponsor of terrorism. Unfortunately, she's got yet to take me up on that invitation. And I want to show you tonight just how dangerous, yes, you're hearing me correctly, just how dangerous it is having Senator Heitkamp as our U.S. Senator. Because I want to remind you, as a U.S. Senator, that person has a vote to send your sons and or daughters into the theater of war. Speaking of that, today, some very concerning headlines about what's happening with Russia and Iran in Syria. More on that in just a moment. But first, I want to share with you what was to me a very shocking and again dangerous clip from Senator Heidi Heitkamp when she was on MSNBC with Andrea Mitchell. Now, I've shown you this clip before. And with everything happening in the Middle East right now, you have to wonder, you have to question Senator Heidi Heitkamp's competence when it comes to foreign affairs and our national security. This clip is from September of 2013. They were talking about Syrian President Assad and his use of chemical weapons on his own people. Now, Andrea Mitchell, pretty liberal person, asked Senator Heitkamp, why in the world would we trust President Assad, a man that has even denied having chemical weapons? Also, by the way, he's killed hundreds of thousands of his own people. Now, I want you to listen very closely to this clip and listen to what Senator Heitkamp says about Russia, a country being ran by a former KGB agent.
I think because we aren't trusting Assad, we're trusting the Russians to come to the table to force their ally.
You're trusting the Russians?
We're trusting Russia's intent at this point to actually deliver the right set of circumstances. And I've said all along that we're waiting. Words are not enough. We have to see action.
Words are not enough. We have to see action. So Senator Heitkamp wants to see action. Well, let's look at actions from Russia. It was reported today that Russia is now flying drone surveillance missions in Syria as they build up their Russian military base in Syria. And according to Syrian Foreign Minister Walid al-Molahem, he said this earlier today, there is deep coordination on all levels between us and Moscow and between us and Tehran. And I can say to whoever wants, they can join too. So let me just repeat this. Deep coordination between Iran, Russia, and Syria. Obviously, two of the countries that are part of this Iran deal. Now, you look at these three and you go, gee, how could anything possibly go wrong for us here in America? And our U.S. Senator Heidi Heitkamp, as you just heard her say, says that we should trust the Russians' intent and actions. As I've said in this show before, let's be really clear about what's happening right now. Putin is playing chess. Our politicians, well, they're playing checkers. She also now came out in support of the Iran nuke deal. And you got to ask yourself, well, why is the Russian-Syrian alliance so important to you and your safety? Let me remind you about something. Think about this for a second. Do you know how big the bomb was when the one that hit Hiroshima? It was about half the size of a loaf of bread. How about the size of the nuke bomb that took out Nagasaki? That was about the size of a Rubik's Cube. So here we have our U.S. Senator supporting a deal that opens the economic doors for Russia and Iran to work more closely together, a deal that's going to bring them, Iran, $150 million into their coffers. And I want to know from you, please tell me, maybe I'm missing something here, but tell me what's going to prevent Iran from buying a dirty nuke from Russia the size of a Rubik's Cube for a $50, maybe $100 million. Especially when you look at where oil prices are at today. Hey, obviously Putin could use some extra cash. Oh, by the way, check this out. How convenient for Iran and Hezbollah that Syria borders the northern part of Israel, the Golan Heights. I'm not a rocket scientist, but do you think it's a coincidence that Iran has taken such a coordinated stance with Russia and Syria, knowing obviously how they feel about Israel? Look, I understand this 100%. Middle East politics, uber complicated, extremely complicated. And when you hear a U.S. senator, they say, look, I think we should trust Russia, being led by a former KGB agent that loves the Cold War. We should trust their actions and intents. I think we, as North Dakotans, need to trust actually ask, hey, do we trust our U.S. senators' competence when it comes to foreign affairs and national security? Because I got a real issue with that. Look, I've been doing this show for, 2.5 years now. That happened back in September of 2013. I've been doing POV for roughly 6 months at that point. You heard Andrea Mitchell say, whoa, trust Russia. Even I was. So go, what are we talking here? Trust Russia. Since when does Russia have any sort of alliance with us? When are they a friend of America? I think we all see what Putin's doing over in Ukraine and things of that nature. So very dangerous, and to me, in my opinion, very scary situation. We've got a U.S. senator putting us in with the Iran deal and saying, hey, let's trust Russia, as they're going to now go in there and obviously back Assad. So let me know from you. You can email us, text us, use that phone number there on your screen. Leave us a voicemail. Does Senator Heidi Heitkamp know what she's doing or not? Would love to know your thoughts. Now, speaking about Iran, one other aspect of them is obviously it opens up their ability to go out and export oil. One of the things that we can't even do here in the U.S. So coming up next, there's a big petroleum conference in town. It's the North Dakota Petroleum Conference. The president of NDPC, Ron Ness, is going to join us. He's going to talk about, hey, what's happening here currently in North Dakota? Yes, we know prices are low. Does that mean that's the end of this boom or not? We'll hear from Mr. Ness right after this.